thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get
Come on, let's get some shape in that. Hype in the chat. It's about that time again. Broadcasting live from the heart of Europe. This is the most badass YouTube broadcast in all the known land. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Tommy C, and this Just the Point. My point man and interviewee is none other than 500K YouTuber Gamer from Mars. What the hell do I call you? Gamer? I'm not calling you Gamer, bro.
You can call me Art, Gamer from Mars. It's all good.
Your name is Art. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm not terribly surprised, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not trying to make fun of your name, but I gotta be honest with you. You kind of look like an Art, you know? Or an Al. Al, Art, you think?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Arthur's just been an unusual name for like the past 100 years, so
yeah,
it's a unique name.
It is a unique name. All right, let's get right into it. I talked to you offline, and your response somewhat surprised me a little bit. You're a 500K guy. You've been around forever. You took off your first, I guess, major video, and you correct me if I'm wrong. This is what my research tells me. Was 5 YouTubers that passed away. Is that correct?
I mean, I think the first one was the Lavender Town Theory back in, 2011, and then it's just kind of been tiered. So then after that, it was probably top 10 4chan pranks at the beginning of 2015. And then then I started doing the YouTuber ones, and all of those did pretty well for like a good amount of time.
Well,
but then everybody else kind of jumped on the bandwagon of them, and they kind of died out.
You know, I took a poll of questions that people wanted to ask you, and that was the top. I mean, you were a legitimate a game reviewer for a long time, and you know, I've seen pictures of you and your kid. You're actually reviewing 2,600 games, and by the way, that was my generation in the 80s that I had actually never seen before. So you do have legitimate game credentials, and we'll talk about how that changed over time. But the first thing I want to ask you, 500K, very, very little drama. Why is that?
I think it kind of comes down to, first of all, I don't really see myself as a commentary guy for the most part. I do occasionally give my opinion, but most of the time, I usually don't give my opinion or come out on the side of certain people related to drama. Mm-hmm. And also the other thing is, I'm not in any community of YouTubers where I'm talking to people on a regular basis. I usually just shoot people DMs from time to time. Mm-hmm. So I think that usually keeps me out of it.
That's probably the case. Why? Well, why don't you want to hang? I mean, look, I know this. I know the answer to this because there's a lot of snakes out there. Why do you keep to yourself? Wouldn't it be? I mean, you do pretty well. But you know, rubbing noses with big guys. I mean, Max Mofo helped me out recently with just a tweet of mine. Why don't you hang out with other YouTubers, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know. I think it's just kind of my personality. It's the same way in real life for me. It's not that I go out of my way to be standoffish and not talk to people. It's just I usually stick to myself, and I handle things on my own too pretty well. So instead of going to somebody or venting, I usually just handle it within myself, and I don't have to air my grievances for every single little thing. I usually just try to handle it by myself and not bother anybody else with my problems.
Has any other large YouTuber ever reached out to you or anything like that? Did you get like sort of what happened to me? So like a big shot kind of tapped me on the shoulder, or have you had any run-ins with large YouTubers? Because I got to be honest with you, your Twitter account only has 8,000 followers. You're telling the truth. You only have about 8,000 followers for a YouTuber your size. That's unusually little. And I talked to you about it. You don't seem to care. So has anybody actually reached out to you and said and helped you or collabed with you on anything?
Well, I mean, I have talked to other YouTubers. I talk to the Odd Ones Out occasionally, and I've talked to him quite a bit. I've done a few podcasts with him. And I have some other bigger YouTubers that follow me on Twitter, like iDubbbz follows me and a few other people. But I kind of see Twitter as a place where I'm just doing whatever I feel like, since there's not really much of a way to monetize it, especially when you're not at the 1 million follower level.
Sure.
So I just kind of do my own thing on there. I don't worry about it, and I just kind of tweet when I feel like it.
Gotcha. All right. So it's really more of a way to it's with friends and because I got to be honest, it's a big part of my business, getting the word out. Twitter. I mean, I hate it. It's cancerous, but it's almost a necessary evil. So the fact that you don't use it that much makes you wonder if there's a way I can get out of it. Let me put it this way. So the drama you've actually been in your most, like, I guess your biggest drama recently, like within the last 3-4 months. Is that correct?
What are you referring to, the MatPat incident?
Yes, I'm referring to the MatPat thing, which is probably, in my opinion, very different than any other thing that you've done, and I'll get into that why. Because I got to be honest with you, whatever criticism you take for your delivery or that you call yourself a gamer and you don't do a lot of game content, I got to be honest with you, I like what you do because it is different. It's not the screaming, yelling, obnoxious, commentator. You seem to be, and people are gonna laugh at me when I say this, like a YouTube historian. It's like you're collecting this stuff, and it's very well researched, despite whatever criticism you take. And actually, excuse me, I lost my train of thought. I think that's really interesting. But the video you did on MatPat, I got to be honest, I saw more emotion out of you on that criticism than maybe some of your other videos where you've been critical. Although I think you were completely fair. Were you a little irritated with this guy for any other reason going into that video?
Are you referring to the original video or my response to it?
The first, not the response. You were very level-headed in the response. I'll get to the response in a minute. But the opening, you were more I would say emotional than usual in that particular video. It did feel a little more personal than maybe some of the other videos that you've done in the past.
No, I really didn't see it that way. I've been following MatPat for a long time, and I think he is very good at what he does. I said that in the first video I did about him. I said that in the response video. I think he's one of the best people on YouTube making videos as far as the behind the scenes stuff and knowing how to run the channel to keep it going. You see a lot of other people that have been around for as long as he has. I think he started back in 2011 with the game theory videos, and he still gets 1 million, 2 million, 3 million views for each one of those game theory videos. Plus he's expanded to a ton of other series, and all his series get over 1 million views a piece. He's been able to stay on the top of his game for so long, and I have a massive amount of respect for that. So I guess maybe in that way I've been following along with everything he's done for such a long period of time that I have a little bit more of a personal take on.
Were you that disappointed that, because a lot of the criticism in the video is that he had changed his content, and I got the feeling he changed it in such a way that it wasn't interesting to you anymore, and that was kind of frustrating. Is that what I was seeing? Was that what I was picking up on?
I'll be honest with you, I never really liked the game theory videos in the first place. I really don't care what he does. I just always was fascinated by his channel as a person who myself analyzes channels and how they grow and how they fall. I always thought that he was one of the best at it. So I thought it was fascinating, just his entire journey and how he's been able to stay relevant and continue to grow his brand over the years, bringing all these people below him to make content for his channels as well. I all thought it was just done perfectly. And I see a lot of people that complain about the Five Nights at Freddy's videos he does. But in my mind, I would own the fact that I do Five Nights at Freddy's videos if they did so well. I would be like, hey, these videos get 3 times as many views as the rest of my theories. Of course I'm going to keep on doing them. But for some reason, it's strange because he gets very defensive of when people talk about that, whereas I would kind of own up to the fact that these videos get tons of views and they're successful.
Anybody who knows anything, I often wonder about all the YouTubers, because I've seen Keemstar and other big YouTubers when they get accused of having a young fan base. If, as far as YouTube revenue goes, you want that like 13 to 17-year-old block. It's gold. They hit the ads more than anybody else. They're engaged. They comment. They like. They get you in the recommendeds. So I often wonder why. And I got to be honest with you, what you showed about this MatPat guy, because your video only got, it was not that it's only. I'd love to have a video like this, 500,000, and you're talking about a guy that averages 1 million a video. Why do you think that he freaked out on such light criticism that he is sort of a entertainer for kids? Why do you think he freaked out like he did? Because he tried to act all passive aggressive and act like it didn't bother him. But why would you make a stream? He looked extremely uncomfortable. What nerve do you think you touched?
Well, I'll tell you what happened when you searched MatPat or Game Theory right after that video came out. Mine showed up #1, I think, in the results.
No kidding. That's
yeah.
So that's what pissed him off.
I didn't game the system, but I did the tags and description and title very well, and YouTube picked up on it, and they started promoting that at the top. That's why after I made my video called "What Happened to Game Theory" and MatPat, he's made 2 videos called "What Happened to Game Theory" in response to mine to try to beat me out in the algorithm.
Really? So you think that's all about? Is it was just like an algorithm war or what have you?
Yeah,
and then
he hated the fact that I was beating him out and my video wasn't as super positive, I would say. I don't think that my original video was negative or positive. I think I was just kind of analyzing his channel over the years, and I think he took it in a negative way.
Well, you showed without a doubt. What you did, you showed without a doubt the guy cannot take criticism. And he probably would have done is like, you take a lot of heat too. I mean, I put the, the way I gauge it is like, hey, what questions you want me to ask Gamer from Mars? Some of them aren't so nice, and you deal with that. And you told me privately that you just simply ignore it. Even when the few times that the big YouTubers have kind of taken a shot at you, you just don't answer. You just kind of go on with life unless you absolutely have to. You showed without a shadow of a doubt that this guy is awkward, passive aggressive, and can't possibly take criticism. Because I want to tell you, you're not like Kavos or Chubbs or any of these, or Colossal's crazy, but if you watch your response video, you utterly destroyed him. I mean, it was it would be my ultimate nightmare if somebody made a video that good on me, and you did it without cursing, you did it without swearing, you did it by just with logic and facts, and by playing his video and showing him his just really unusual reaction. Did you expect to get in a little YouTube heat with him like that? Because as far as I know, that's the first response drama video you ever made, correct?
Yeah, I'm blown away that he even responded to my video, but I kind of understand why he did. I think that my style of video really shines through actually with that response video, because since people say I have no emotion, it actually goes through very well when you're making an argument to not show emotion, because then you're just sticking to the facts and going point by point.
I mean, you utterly fucked him up. I mean, it's so funny. Like, and you didn't even point it out in your own video. You made reference in the first video that at one time that he used a lot of booby shots and that getting the by getting the views in. And he even said at the time that you're not going to be able to do this much longer. So take advantage of it while you can. And it wasn't even a criticism much as it was a statement of fact. And then he goes on this long diatribe, offended by you saying that, and then absolutely confirms everything you said because he was doing it for views, and you weren't even like saying like I get that criticism. Oh, you're just doing that for views. Well, yeah, I'm doing this professionally. Of course, I'm trying to get more views in. But it was just it was so bizarre that he was angry with that, yet he confirmed what you said. What did you think when you saw that?
I think what happens with him, and I've never actually talked to him personally. I know a few people that worked on the Game Theory channel that no longer do, but I think he personally has shame with what he does sometimes on his channel, or what he used to do with the cleavage shots. I am thinking that MatPat is in a super liberal group of people, and the fact that he objectified women like that in his old videos, that personally eats at him. So when I simply pointed it out,
well, it also shows. It also proves another point. You didn't bring this up though. I hate to interrupt you, but it also shows another point that he really is a children's channel. I mean, he even says it in the video, like I was doing something else and we grew into something else. So the criticism is valid on two fronts. You're a kid's channel. You don't want to be associated with boob shots on your thumbnails. And, so that because he brings out this, like, well, look at my statistics. And you destroyed that. I'll get in that to a minute. But by showing the boob side, you beat him on two fronts. You beat him on the front that he's a children's channel. You don't want to be associated with it. And then he confirmed what you said by arguing with you. I really don't get it. It's completely bizarre, but go ahead.
Yeah, I stand by the fact that just criticism against him had been eating him away for a while, and that was kind of he's usually very good about being reserved and not running his mouth or saying anything that might get him in trouble. Because if you look at his Twitter account, it's the cleanest thing ever, most calculated account you've ever seen. It's just very corny, innocent jokes that no one could be offended by. And when he does make a statement, he goes and he says something like, let's say there was a terrorist attack. He's like, I know I'm going to get called out around here, but I think that terrorism is bad. He'll make a statement about something like that. So he'll only come out against something when everyone will agree with it. He'll never make anything that even comes close to a controversial opinion.
He's afraid. So he's like Boogie.
My video, Well, I mean, Boogie has done some very questionable things in the past. He's even admitted to it. But I think in particular with MatPat, he knows exactly how to play the system and how to act online to get the maximum amount of exposure and connections. And more power to him. I wish if I was able to be like that, I would do the same thing as him, because it's the most effective way to grow your channel, and grow your contacts. He's in LA. He's always in the YouTube Rewind every single year. He's talking to all the higher ups at YouTube and a ton of other creators, and it works well for him. And one of the reasons for that is he does not say anything controversial ever.
Gotcha. No, okay, that's pretty interesting. Do you like? I mean, I wouldn't call your content very edgy. Do you like people that can sort of speak their mind and spit it and how they see it? Because it can be, you might grow a strong fan base, but it can kind of retard your growth as far as, I don't know, getting on YouTube Rewind. I mean, what kind of content creators do you like personally?
I personally like the most outrageous people, because I've always enjoyed like going on 4chan and seeing how they troll people. That's kind of how I stumbled upon like the internet history stuff, as I made top 10 4chan pranks. And I'm the kind of person that will never actually troll people, but I'll come up with ideas of how I could troll somebody and do it if I wanted to, but I'll never actually go through with it. But I'll more than gladly watch other people do it. And it's not even like I'll condone what they're doing, but I do find it fascinating.
You do find it personally entertaining. But you don't really seem like the type, no offense. You have a deadpan delivery. You have your own style. It's not outrageous by any means. That doesn't seem like a crew you'd be interested in or hang out with. Do you have like a secret like edgy side to you that you don't reveal on the internet?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if people knew my real thoughts on things, I'd probably lose half of my subscribers. Because...
Oh, really? Well, why don't you do it here then? Why don't you say some really crazy shit here?
No.
If you said it on your own channel.
Everybody online, most people online control what they say. There's exceptions like Keemstar, but most people, including somebody like Matt,
can't control what he says.
To some degree, control what they say on the internet.
You're right. Keemstar can't control. It's an impulse problem. It's not anything like well thought out. Let me tell you that from personally working with him.
Here's one thing. I love Keemstar. I think he's so outrageous. His Twitter is the most entertaining
really good,
on all of Twitter. I really believe that.
I think you're right.
But at the same time, I wouldn't want to get close to him because he seems to turn on people very easily.
Oh yeah. But I agree with you as far as being an entertainer on this platform. There are few better and few people that I find more entertaining. It's just working with them is just like pulling teeth. And you, like you said, you don't know. He's like like a rabid dog. You don't know when he's gonna flip on you. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Now, I'm gonna get some criticism that you got. That the only criticism I have for you personally, because I really enjoy your content. And like I said, it almost like it's like you're like the librarian around here. That I don't know goes to fucking. That runs a brothel at night. I don't know. You made a video about the comeback of Keemstar, and you made it this past summer when he finally passed Scarce. And I saw the criticism in the comments. As far as you did an excellent job in the video, but you left out the baited podcast as a part of his rebirth. Why did you do that? It must have been a conscious effort, because I'm sure you're familiar. If you were following me and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, I've been watching the Baited podcast since day one. I just, I personally didn't see that. I saw that as a side project for him, and it definitely was another revenue stream for him if he actually started doing it consistently. But I really don't see that as the reason why he grew. I think that that's separate from Drama Alert as a brand, because there's not. it's kind of hard to describe. I think that there's not a lot of crossover with the new fans of Drama Alert that care about all this Jake Paul nonsense.
Sure.
I personally don't really watch Drama Alert anymore because
I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you.
I don't care about this manufactured Jake Paul, Logan Paul nonsense.
No, it isn't.
Because all of it is scripted and made up, and it's just basically fake wrestling for a new generation.
You're probably right.
But
I don't. So,
I don't
really don't think, because I got to tell you,
as
a member of Baited, the real healing took place there, because his Drama Alert was poison, but Baited was gaining subs all the time because of his dynamic with Colossal's Crazy, and we slowly built and fought as a team to repair his reputation. And I can't even tell you some of the stuff that went on behind the scenes. I can assure you that the combination between Baited and the H3 interview that we did, and the Leafy interview, where Leafy clearly lost the fight, and Nick Cash releasing the information, it was a full-blown 6 months project that I was a part of to repair. I honestly think, I mean, the Nick Cash might have helped him, but if he hadn't been telling the story, because that was the backdrop of Baited, was Keemstar got fucked over by his friends. We talked about different subjects, but that was always the overhang. Keemstar got fucked over by his friends, and those friends happen to be friends of Colossal's Crazy. Had those three things not happened, I don't know if he makes as big a comeback as he did. And let me tell you something. He worked at it. He told me, I said, you know, because it was the day that Scarce actually finally passed him. He was losing subs and Scarce was gaining. And he said to me, I will pass him. I will get 3 million before him. You watch, in the next 12 months. And he did it 13 months later.
It's so crazy, because I kind of see Matt, Pat, and Keemstar actually as like the yin and yang of YouTube.
Yeah.
They're both amazingly good at what they do, and they know how to work the crowd on the internet, but they do it in completely opposite ways.
Why didn't you, Tiger Tides, why didn't you talk about me? No, that's not what I said. I said I want to talk about Baited. Baited was a big factor. I disagree respectfully, chat, with the thing. I think that was a huge factor in repairing his image. I mean, GamerFromMars might not agree with me. And in fairness to GamerFromMars, that particular video, you were talking about him, Drama Alert passing Scarce. Not so much Keemstar. It was Drama Alert. And I did get that part of it. But I was a little confused why you left it out. And did you see the comments related to Baited after you made that video?
I think I saw some. I know there was the one guy that made a video in response to mine that kind of brought that up. I agree that may be like the third point. You could go from there, but I think Scarce leaving and mainly though the rise of the Paul brothers and all their controversy.
Sure, that helped them pit, but he had to repair his image months prior to that. His image was repaired by November of last year. And the Paul brothers in breaking that, you know, that blew up Cabos as well. Paul blew up a lot of people. Face Banks, even more than he already was. But I think he had to have the repaired image as being a victim of some shady YouTube characters rather than the victimizer, which he's done before, in order to be able to actually take advantage of the Paul situation and pretty much change Drama Alert to something that I would have never envisioned it becoming. To be perfectly honest with you, it was just honestly, it was just a disagreement I had, and I just thought it was interesting that you didn't find it as important as I did. Certainly, you're entitled to your opinion, but I found that pretty fascinating. Going back to Matt Pat Game Theory, you destroyed a theory of mine. I look at my analytics stats, right, and my lowest category, besides like. You know, like people in their 70s and stuff, is people between, I think it's 13 and 17-year-old block, which I always assumed because I get heavy donations here for a 30,000 sub channel, enough to make a living on, and combine that with YouTube and T-shirts and Patreon, I do pretty good. Not, you know, I'm not rich, but I do pretty good, and I'm an unusual YouTuber that way, that I can be pro at this level or this sub count, because of my support. But I always thought it was because I had an older audience, and they have jobs, so they're able to give more. And you destroyed that in this particular MatPat video, because when Matt argued with you that he doesn't have kids, he showed his analytics, and it was almost identical to mine, where like the 17 to 25 and the 25 to 30, 31 was like, I'm gonna be rough here because I'm going by memory. Like mine's like 34 and 35% to the middle adult categories, which is the biggest percentage I have. But his analytics looked identical to mine, which they couldn't possibly. He is a children's entertainer, and you had mentioned that it's because nobody is going to sign up for YouTube and tell them they're 13 years old. Which I found really interesting. And I'm starting to wonder if my demographic's a little younger than I initially thought. So are you saying for sure, though, you could not trust the YouTube analytics on ages whatsoever?
I mean, not whatsoever. It does have its uses. Like if you're going to work with a brand and then they ask for your demographics and stuff, you of course give it to them and you don't tell them about, you know, the theories about kids lying about their age. You just present them with whatever your age demographics are and they'll judge you by that. But at the end of the day, they're not reliable, especially for that 13 to 17-year-old range. I see a lot of YouTubers that have younger fans, and they always bring that up. MatPat was not the first person I've seen do that.
I've done that because I thought it was legit. I thought there was no way it could be around, but I think you're right. I think there's no way that those age statistics, like if I was 13, I don't want to be held. If I was 12 or 11, I'd just tell them I was 2 years older than I was, you know? I mean, it makes perfect sense. And because, like, my statistics, my audience must be older. There's no way. The people call in, the amount of donations I get for such a small channel, they must be older. Must be. The heavy donators that I've met, I know they have decent jobs, right? So it must be older than his. So, and his statistics were damn near identical to mine. It was weird, to be honest with you. And I had no, people are spitting out in the chat 24, 38. If you guys could put your age in there and give me an idea. I know, and don't be afraid to tell me, like, if you're gonna say, I don't believe you're 77. Don't be afraid to put your age if you're 12 or 13. I mean, you probably shouldn't be watching, but whatever. I'm interested in that. But yeah, I just you pretty much destroyed that whole argument because yeah, he must be older than that. All right, I got a tough question for you. There's a very famous video about you. I think you know what I'm going to say. How did you feel when the Quentin Reviews video came out about you?
The craziest thing about that is all my friends and family found that video. Like, it was promoted so much that all my friends and family were talking to me about it. Did you like it? I personally thought the video was funny. I thought the comment section was complete cancer.
It was a funny video, but it went on about 5 minutes too long. Because, like, all right, I get the point, right? He over-explains sometimes. I get the point. But to start it off with, like, the Third Reich thing, and then try to cancel, like, parlay that to a story about PewDiePie, it was really amusing. Did it bother you? Yeah. Did it make you? Did it rattle you at all? Did you change your style after you saw that video? It was a funny video. I don't think it was hateful. It was a little too long because after a while I was like, yeah, because it felt like it's an 8-minute video. It felt like fucking 20.
Sure. I've never actually openly discussed this video, but I'll say a few of my thoughts.
Sure.
First of all, I'm surprised the video did as well as it did, because as you said, it's just drawn out and it's kind of making fun of me for over-explaining some stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that the audience retention rate would be so low on that video that it would not get promoted at all, but then it blew up and it got tons of views.
Yeah.
Secondly, I thought the video was funny. What happened was, that's based off my Internet Hall of Fame series, which I already kind of was planning on discontinuing at that point.
I have that question. Don't answer that yet. Don't answer the Hall of Fame because I have that question in the lineup. But go ahead.
Okay, I won't talk about specifically that.
Okay.
But people had called me out in the past, and I kind of went along with it. The Internet Hall of Fame, what I was originally trying to do with that series was I pulled in somebody from internet fame, and then I also tried to tie it in with history or some real-world example about things. So I started off every video with having something that seemed really off-topic. Maybe I'm talking about Hitler, or I'm talking about how children and parent dynamics have changed over the past 100 years. And then I try to tie it in to some internet celebrity of today. And I understand why people think that was really random, but my purpose of doing that was trying to maybe teach some of the younger people that watch my videos some history that they would not learn otherwise. So I did have good intentions by doing that.
Sure. But it's like But okay, I mean, I'm not really criticizing, dude. I'm sure that guy Quentin Muse can make a video about me and.
Oh
and
no,
make
I've
me
talked
like
to him multiple times. He wasn't malicious in his
I don't think it was
intent.
malicious at all. I thought it was good, funny satire, is what it was. I thought it was really funny satire. But it doesn't make you like. Do you worry when you see a video like that that's pretty good, and that you worry people like kind of like turn? It's not like I saw it because some kids are like this. Like I didn't see that video and say, "Oh, GamerFromMars sucks, unsub." You know, I just thought it was really just funny satire, maybe because I'm older. But do you worry that maybe as people see a video like that and why he doesn't have ill intentions, that it'll affect you negatively or financially?
I didn't see it affecting me negatively, but the comment section on it was just absolute cancer. It was just people, like, they went way too far.
Do you want to read it?
I understand. I understand you don't like my videos, but at the same time, I'm not literally Hitler. Like, I don't do anything that makes me a terrible person in my videos.
No, I know.
And people just went there, and it was just, it's so ridiculous when people get so mad at me when I've really done absolutely nothing to warrant that amount of hate.
Oh my God! And like
you say, I can understand when people say I'm boring or something like that. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But when people go and say, "Yeah, he's a scumbag,"
yeah,
I wish he died, and all that other stuff, it's like, what have I done?
Well, what do you think that is about YouTube consumers? Like bad content, bad. You know, I think your content bad. I mean, I went through this phase myself, and I mean, I've had people on the show that I'm not in love with all their content, but I like them. I think they're interesting people, and I'm like you in the sense that, and I think this is the thing that kind of ropes you into this game. It is so hard to build a YouTube channel, and I think you're one of the few YouTubers that actually appreciate that. And those are fascinating stories, and they're worth archiving. They're worth keeping around. And am I wrong here? Is that what drives you?
It's kind of hard to even say what drives me at this point because I've just been so burnt out of being a YouTuber at this point. Yeah, it's been. I still make decent money off it, but just my personality makes me I'm a very stressed out individual.
Are you really?
No matter where I'm at, I'm stressed out about something. If I figure out and overcome some barrier, I come up with something new that I worry about. So YouTube is really probably not the best line of work for me.
No, because there's always going to be something. Thank you so much for the donation, 1550. Will you marry me? No, but thanks for the money. But the problem with taking a break, though, is then you do risk. I mean, everybody calls you irrelevant, but I mean, you do risk real irrelevancy if you take a break. I mean,
here's the most ridiculous part about that. People always in my "What Happened To" videos, when I say this person's no longer relevant in them, they go and then they come back with the ad hominem attack that I'm not relevant, even though that has absolutely nothing to do with what I said.
You get 500,000 fits of video. That's ridiculous. I mean, I wouldn't even I would love to have 500,000 hits of video. I mean, I'd be filthy rich because I broadcast every day, but but no, you're not irrelevant at all. You're not royalty. You're not going to get a YouTube a rewind. But I mean, I think when people say that, they just want a piece of what you have, you know, because, you know, especially, you know, people your age and younger, that's the most wanted job for young people. And I think that's where they're jealous because you start a YouTube channel, you see somebody like the Gamer from Mars, you say, oh, I'm better than him. And you realize just how hard and lucky you have to be to do it. But you mentioned being stressed out. Are you thinking about taking some kind of break or something like that?
No, absolutely not. I can't at this point.
I know what you mean.
It's kind of like I'm in the casino and I've already spent so much money on the table. I might as well go all out. I can't walk away at this point. That's really what.
Do you have any gambling or drug? Do you have a gambling or drug problem, or did you drink too much? Like,
no, absolutely nothing. I've never gotten drunk before. I've never smoked a cigarette before.
Really?
I don't do any of that stuff. I just sit at home and I watch YouTube videos and go on 4chan and stuff.
Really? You got a girlfriend?
Yeah, no.
No, what's the matter with you? Dude, you could be getting some poontang, dude.
Yeah, I guess I probably could. It's just my personality.
Well, I don't think, like, all right, first of all, I don't think your personality is bad. When you I was a big thrill to me when you sent me that video DM. I was like, wow, it's Gamer from Mars, man. That's cool. You know, you just got to get out there. You know what you got to do? You got to hang out with Tommy C more often. That's what you have to do. What do you think?
Okay.
You going to start hanging out with me?
You could, yeah, I'll talk to you in the DMs, go on Skype, whatever. It's fine.
Let's stream.
I'm willing to talk to you.
Let's do a Twitch stream.
Come to me all the time for advice.
Really?
YouTubers always come to me for advice on like, hey, I have a problem with my thumbnail. Yeah. You have an opinion? And I always gladly give.
I want to do that. They're taking advantage of you. I want to be your friend. Let's do a stream together. What's your favorite video game?
My favorite video game?
To stream. We're going to start streaming together, me and you.
The only game I've really been playing recently is Mario Odyssey, so that's not even multiplayer.
All right,
I guess I could start.
All right, don't tell any chicks. Don't tell any chicks about Mario Odyssey. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna download. We'll get you up there. You're gonna get. Let me look through my list here. Fortnite. We're gonna play Fortnite together. You got a good connection over there?
I've never played Fortnite. I've seen some footage of it.
Come on, we're gonna play some Fortnite. One weekend, we get together. We do a Twitch stream on Fortnite. What do you think?
Okay.
Who in the chat wants to see a gamer from Mars, Tommy C. Fortnite chat? You don't have to do this, but I'm just asking. No drinking, no smoking. Oh, my son just donated. I don't know why he donates. He just gets on there. But he said, because my son doesn't drink or smoke, and he doesn't get laid either. And he mentioned he's like you. You're his favorite YouTuber, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing I've always strived for, because it's this weird game of, you have people that do daily content and no one really likes them that much, but they just spam out content and they do well that way.
Sure.
And you have other people like iDubbbz who only makes videos occasionally, but they're loved so much and so many people are watching them that they could sustain themselves on that.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be more on the iDubbbz side of things.
Sure.
But I always fall short.
Yeah, but I don't know. I always look at those guys as exception. Well, I've structured my channel like a daily radio show, right? Sure. It's 1 hour radio show a day. That's the way I structured it. But I don't know if we all can be iDubbbz. You know, I don't know if we can all be that. That's the problem. You know, I mean, PewDiePie makes a lot of content a week. He makes it the most. I mean, God, he must be raking it in. He's guaranteed $1 million. $1 million's probably a bad day for him, come to think of it. But I mean, I don't think everybody, and I don't think there's anything wrong with going out and hustling stuff. I don't think you're clickbait. You put a lot of research into your stuff. I don't think you should put yourself down. Don't read the fucking comments then. Fuck them, because I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think we need a guy like you. We need a guy like you. And if you go away, who's gonna fucking do your job? You know, like we're gonna look back.
A few other people that do similar stuff to me, but like, you got the internet historian, but he's usually just doing the.
He does the whole thing. You do YouTube.
Anymore.
But you do YouTube. You do the most interesting part of the internet, if you ask me. You do YouTube. But I think you need to get laid. I think you got to, why don't you fly out to Germany? We'll go out drinking. Oh, that's right. You don't drink. What the fuck am I gonna do? All right. Let me get into some other questions besides busting your balls. You came on shopping the point. You got to get your balls busted. I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to get the 4chan out of you, sir. I'm trying to get the 4chan.
Yeah, that's the problem. I've been on 4chan too much. Like, there's things that influence me that I know it's a bad influence, but I keep on watching it. Like, another example is I watch tons of Norm Macdonald content. Like, I just love the guy so much. He's the greatest comedian of all time.
Really?
At the same time, I know he rubs off on me and his style of joke, and it's just terrible. It's terrible trying to bring that out in real life.
Norm Macdonald, I don't know if he's my favorite comedian, but he told, I think, my favorite joke of all time, and I think he told it Dennis Miller in 1996, and I remember it clearly. He said, you know, as a kid, everybody said, don't smoke. You know, no, nobody like you if you smoke. And so I started smoking, and then all of a sudden, I had a ton of friends, you know, because everybody needs a cigarette or they need a light or what have you. Next thing you know, like, I wasn't talking to anybody because I didn't have any friends. All of a sudden, I started smoking. I had friends. I love Norm Macdonald, to be honest with you. Oh, man.
I love the Dennis Miller clips where he goes on, he has the ventriloquist dummy that he claims is sitting on his lap, and it's a Holocaust denier.
You like the Holocaust jokes, don't you?
Like, I mean... See, here's the thing with me, with the Holocaust, the anti-Semitism online. It's always fascinated me because growing up, like, I live in an area where there's a lot of Orthodox Jewish people.
Where do you live? Where do you live? Where do you live? What state do you live in?
I live in Pennsylvania.
Oh, you live in P? I'm from New Jersey originally. So you're over. Oh, you're in Bucks. You're in Bucks County, aren't you?
No.
Close.
Northeastern Pennsylvania. Close to it,
okay. All right, by Easton, I guess, right?
Yeah, close to that.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right, now I got the idea where you live. Now I know where the Jews are. Okay, go ahead. Tell me the story.
Yeah, so growing up, like, I knew a ton of Jewish people. My next door neighbors were Jewish, and I never quite understood, like, why there was so much anti-Semitism. Why Hitler wanted to kill all the Jews. No one really wanted to explain that portion to me. So I tried to look into it, and I just always didn't understand, because other sorts of racism in America, such as against black people, Latinos, it's mostly because they're poor and they're collecting government assistance. These are the stereotypes. But on the opposite end, they hate the Jewish people because they're successful. It's the complete opposite case as other groups in other
most
minority
groups are hated
in the
because
US.
they're kind of lower on the scale. Jews don't tend to be. Although I have met poor Jews, especially in New York. Jews seem to be actually opposite. They're hated because they're success, not because their lack of it. Which
I'm talking just in general statistics. Jewish people usually are usually make more of a household income than other groups of people.
Yeah, I did know that.
Time.
Most of the Jewish kids I knew
found it fascinating.
Had bigger houses than most of the Jewish kids I know. I'm not saying anything bad, but most of the Jewish kids that I knew growing up, and I grew up around a lot of Jewish folks, they had nicer houses and stuff than we did. You know, in general, not 100% of the time, but for the most part, you know, if they did well. I mean, there's nothing to be jealous of. It's just the way it was. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. I just grew up and I knew Jewish people. I knew Muslim people. I went to school with them, and they all were just people to me. It wasn't really dependent on their religion or their background or history. And I was always confused by that. But then I go and I always found it so fascinating that no matter where the Jewish people went, and even though they were persecuted, in a group, they always seemed to do very well for themselves. And I always thought that that should be something that should be celebrated, that they're able to do so well and actually start businesses and do well. Whereas you have, the Nazis, neo-Nazis, and then they hate on them for that. And it always was so bizarre to me.
Weird to you.
And I think at first on 4chan, I'm planning on making a video about this. Years ago on 4chan, most of the anti-Semitism was joking. I feel it was just be outrageous for the sake of being outrageous.
It's not necessarily hateful. It's just saying stuff to trigger lefties or something, right?
Yeah, it was just saying outrageous stuff that they knew that they could get a rise out of people, and they knew anti-Semitism and 9/11. Those were like the two big things that you could get people angry. So they kept on doing that, and I think over time that slowly actually became real anti-Semitism.
Really? So you don't think they're just goofing anymore? You think there's like real alt-right problem within 4chan nowadays? It's not just a goof.
I think it's actually become a lot more malicious recently,
really,
than it used to be. So it's actually kind of made me uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. And you're one of those guys that likes those edgy jokes, and you're entertained. I am entertained by that shit too. You know, I started wondering that myself. I don't know if you're familiar with a YouTuber named Crouten T. He's a liberal skeptic community type. Are you familiar with him? He's about a 100K guy.
Yeah, he's one of Sargon of Akkad's buddies, right?
Yeah, he's one of Sargon's Akkad buddies. Well, he somebody said to him, why don't you make videos about the alt-right? And he's like, why not? And he's a German guy. He knows a lot about, Nazi history. He knows a lot about these neo-Nazi kooks. And it was the beginning of his channel being just devastated. And it was so unfortunate because he took apart the SJW, took apart these alt-right kooks a lot like he took apart the SJWs in years past. And it has been devastating for his channel. And I'm sure he was entertained by all the stuff that me and you like for 4chan produces. And it started making me think even that maybe this ain't fucking fun and games anymore. Maybe there's something more serious going on. Because, I mean, we were talking about it and he really couldn't understand what was going on. He thought that most of his followers were like, classical liberals that hated the stuff that goes on in SJW circles, and they would hate the alt-right just the same because they're also identitarians, but it really did affect his channel. And I think it's because he is German, and you had these friggin' people that believe in things like Ubermensch actually following him, and he didn't know how many he was going to actually piss off. So it is kind of frightening, and I think you really should make this video because I think you're onto something, to be honest with you. See, that's why we need the Gamer from Mars.
Yeah, but here's the problem. I always see this is really what's affected me, I think, since the adpocalypse, is there's topics that I want to do, but then I kind of go away from it simply because I know I'm going to spend a week researching and editing this video just for it to be demonetized. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I don't even think about, well, see, I do it every day, so it's a little easier to put it. I don't even think about it. But you guys don't stream, so do you ever think about doing that? Start streaming some stuff? and
I
make a
have
little
a
donation money?
few things that I'm going to attempt to do next year to try to diversify my income because I cannot continue living off of YouTube
Patreon?
AdSense. Even though I can do it and I have been doing it for the past 2 years, it's just not good for my mental health.
Dude, I was making, anywhere between 2-3 grand a month, all right? And I'm pretty much back to where I was, the type of hits I was getting before. I don't have those $200-$300 days anymore. But I have an advantage because like I said, I got a Sunday to Thursday schedule. And I went from making that 2 grand a month, 3 in a good month, that's just YouTube revenue, to $200. I've recently seen an uptick. I recently seen an uptick, and I'm doing okay because I have other avenues and I have such a wonderful fan base. But I think you can't do it the way you used to do it anymore. You got to get out there. You got to show your personality. You got to sell a fucking T-shirt. You got to get on Patreon. Do you have a Patreon?
No, I don't. Like, I have been doing it, though. See, the thing is, I do make more than enough money to live off of. It's just, I still get anxious because you just see those dips.
Oh, God, it's
rises.
horrifying. I told my wife in March, I said, it's over. We're done. We're done. I'm going to have to get a fucking job. But then I got a ridiculous amount of donations that month. You never know the way it's going to go. It's so weird. Like, you have like, oh, my God, this is going to end. And then something just seems to happen, that keeps it going. But you got to diversify. There's no way around it. And don't let these people guilt you into not going on Patreon and not going on other places. And I think you're going to find that you have some excellent support. Because I think what you're doing is good stuff. I think you're doing some somewhat important stuff. I think we need a deadpan guy spitting this stuff out there the way you do. I really enjoy your content. I think a lot of people, maybe my goofy fans won't admit it. I think a lot of people watch your freaking videos, and it's something to be proud of. Do you want to take some phone calls before we go? Like we got 10 minutes.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Let's take Vault. Vault's from the Middle East. He tries to keep from being thrown off of roofs and shit. Vault, what is your question for the Gamer from Mars? I know you're a big YouTube fan, and I know you're a big Gamer from Mars fan, right?
Yeah, but starting to. I started to watch him from your interview.
You're watching. This is the first time you're talking to Gamer from Mars.
Yeah, first time.
Why did you call then? What? Ask him a question there.
Because I watched one of his videos before. But so about the drama with Matt Pat.
Okay.
What do you think? So Gamer from Mars. What do you think? What was the change in his videos that started the greediness and the change of audiences and change of?
Okay, let me help you out. I think Vault's a little nervous, but what he's saying is like, what created the change in his content so drastically?
Sure. Well, I don't think it was this catastrophic change to his channel, nor do I think it was just pure greed. I think he's just been very smart from the beginning to shift his content to whatever will keep him relevant. And it's changed over time from, in the beginning, trying to market himself to usually teenage, 20-year-old men. And now it's kind of shifted to younger people and maybe a lot more female and male audience watching his videos. Plus, he's expanded to a secondary account and his live streams. So he's diversified. He has a lot of stuff going behind the scenes. He has a team of probably 12 people working through all his businesses and on his channels. So I think it's just him growing and him trying to stay relevant, and I can't knock him for that.
It's just, so the short answer is this, Vault. It's money. It's financial. Yeah, that's it. All right, Vault. Thanks for the call. I'm running out of time, buddy, and I want to read him some tweets too.
Colin love phones, Mars.
All right, I'll do love phones. In fact, I'll be in Patreon right after this. I'll be in the Patreon room right now. Get out of here, Vault. I'll throw you off a roof. All right, this guy's been here since like the beginning. I think, and after this, I'm going to read you some mean tweets. Hey, man, you've been on here for a goddamn hour. Tans Nation, you're on the air. You going to blow it? You're going to go in the queue for an hour and you're going to blow it? Get lost.
Walked away.
Yeah, he blew it. He probably fell asleep, masturbating all day. That's what does
Hey, it's Turkey Tom.
It's Turkey Tom.
Hey, how's it going, Art?
How's it going, man? He just made a video. What do you say in the thumbnail? I'm the worst YouTuber ever.
The most boring YouTube channel, I think.
Were you serious when you said that? Were you serious when you said that? Why do you think he's boring?
Well, I've been watching Mars for a long time. I've been watching him for around 7 years, and overall, I just feel he's very deadpan. I don't hate his videos by any means. I exaggerated quite a bit in the video. You know, they're just not great. I just don't really like his deadpan. I'd like a bit more personality.
Don't you think we need a guy like him though, that's a little tries to be sort of neutral and gives that deadpan delivery? And rather, I mean, like, do you really would it be a good Gamer from Mars video if he was going, "Hey guys, what's going on? Why don't you slap a like on it and get it down? And by the way, check out my Patreon and I'm selling T-shirts." I don't want that from him. I want.
Well, I don't want that either. But yeah. I mean, I have seen videos where he's put in some more personality. For example, his MatPat video definitely had more personality than he usually has.
I noticed that too. Are you like a big YouTuber, Turkey? I feel like I've heard of you before. What's your deal?
I sort of make like semi-animated videos on. Yeah.
I see you goofing on Kavos over here. Okay, I have to see that.
yeah. There's sort of commentary.
Sort of commentary.
Yeah.
I'll check your sub. In fact, I'll sub you right now. I'll check that out. Yeah, I'll give you a sub. And well, if you're making fun of Kavos, I'm friends with Kavos, so I gotta go check that out.
And I don't hate Kavos either. I exaggerate most of my titles because at the end of the day, everyone on YouTube wants to see you just fucking tear into someone and just beat them. And if I can put that in the title, but then give a rather fair opinion in the video, I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
What do you think? Since you came in and dumped on your buddy here, what do you think he can do to improve his videos?
Honestly, I liked his older videos better, the Internet Mysteries, but we DM'd for a while, and I understand why he doesn't do it. Okay. Demonetization, but I don't know. I just think I'd like a little more personality, and he has done it before, and he worked on it for a while. I was noticing, and then when What Happened came around, he sort of.
He isn't an overly emotional human being.
He's not, and I don't think he should be. But I just think something that makes me stick around, because the reason I still watch a lot of YouTubers like I.H.E. and like I don't know, I still watch Colossal when he uploads, but all of those all these YouTubers, they have. Not only do they make good videos, well researched, well edited, but they also have a good personality that makes me want to stick around, no matter what they do.
Gamer from Mars, do you want to tell this guy to fuck off?
No. It's not even the problem. I'll tell you exactly what happened when you noticed the change when the What Happened to videos started coming out. That's when YouTube demonetized my channel, and I was really down and out.
We already went over this.
It devastated me. Just on a personal level, how I acted in real life, and that I think showed up in the videos. And the What Happened to videos were kind of a result of the adpocalypse and me trying to find a new series that was sustainable in the new system of YouTube at the time. I definitely get where you're coming from. My next video, I actually do try to work on a few of the points that you mentioned in your video. It's the new series should be out in the next 2 days. But other than that, I'm just trying to think. I understand why people find me boring, and if the worst thing somebody says about me is I don't like his videos, they're kind of boring, but he does know what he's talking about, I'm fine with that.
Really? Okay. Thanks for the call, Turkey Tom. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Take care.
See you, Tommy.
Your channel. All right. I don't think you're boring. I think like that's just your deal.
Absolutely, but some people find that boring, and I'm fine with that.
You know what it is? I think it's kids.
This idea that.
I think it's kids that expect Kavos or something. You know what I mean? Not everybody can be Kavos. I don't want everybody to be like Kavos. I don't want everybody to be like Chubbs. I want Kavos to be Kavos. I want Chubbs to be Chubbs. And I want you to be the Gamer from Mars. I don't want to turn in and telling you to slap a like on and you start wiggling your willy in the stream and next thing you know you're on fucking Drama Alert and you're on coke and heroin and shit. I don't want that. I want that for ton of mojo.
At the same point, I can improve on what I've been doing. I really hope in 2018 I'm able to restructure my channel so I'm not as reliant on AdSense. Maybe I could hire somebody on to help me with the editing of videos and I could get out more content, more informative stuff, more interesting content. Because I have a lot of ideas for videos, but a lot of the time when I'm sitting there looking at my list of 100 video ideas that I have, I think to myself, which one of these is least likely to get demonetized?
You're getting financial play. You're driving yourself fucking crazy, and I don't think you should do it because I think the damn demonetization system is broken. I think they don't know how to control it. If they're not just fucking people over for the sake of it, I think you should just go with it and roll the chips. But I mean, I don't know your financial situation. I don't know if you're paying your rent with this shit, but I can understand that pressure. Let me try to take you off this a little bit. I want to read you before we go. I want to read you tweets. Some of them are mean. Do you want me to? You want to hear them?
Go ahead.
Okay, why are you always jumping from bandwagon to bandwagon? That's by one of my fans named Brace, and he's a shithead.
I wonder what he means by
I wonder
that,
what he means by
because,
that,
like,
too.
sometimes,
He doesn't make a lot of sense.
because here's the thing about my channel currently. Like, look at some of the videos I've recently done. I've made a video on Epic Mealtime.
Mhm.
You know, that's a very relevant channel. Fred, very relevant channel. Like, your favorite Martian, Tobuscus, the annoying orange. Like, how are these bandwagon subjects? These are like the complete opposite of bandwagon.
I want short answers for these. And by the way, fuck you, Brace, you jerk off. That's one of my Patreons. What a dumb question. Tipster Gaming asked, why are you called the Gamer from Mars? I know the answer to this, but you don't do any game-related videos. Are you done with the game-related videos?
I would gladly make more gaming videos, but no one would watch them. That's the problem. So I get the complaints about that, but the thing is, if I made a gaming video, it would get like 1/5 the amount of views as all my other content.
Yeah, you got to pay rent. I get you. Will you play PUBG?
What is that, Player Unknown?
Yeah. Will you play that?
I haven't played it, but it does look kind of entertaining. At this point, the problem with multiplayer games online is I play them for an hour or two, and then I feel like I've accomplished nothing, and I'm a loser after I finish playing.
Oh, really?
them.
That's the way I feel.
problem.
That's the way I feel like when I play single player games, like Mario. I feel like a big loser, and I fucking want to
Really?
play online games. Yeah, that's weird.
Here's the thing: after playing Mario, you get an ending, and you feel like you beat this game and you accomplished something. But with the multiplayer game, since it never ends, it feels that you could sink 1 hour, 2 hours, 100 hours.
I don't feel
and you
that
get
way.
the same outcome.
That's so weird. I feel like I'm getting better at it. I don't know. It's just a different way to do things. I'm a single player guy.
Yeah, I guess.
What happened to the Hall of Fame? You put Brittany Ventney in there. You wonderful person too. What happened to it? And you have plans to revive it?
Well, I'm probably not going to bring back Internet Hall of Fame. I mean, anything's possible. Mainly because I do understand where the criticism started coming from, where the videos, their format, they went off topic on purpose, and I understand why a lot of people didn't like that, and they started dipping in the amount of views they got. But I have a new series that kind of encompasses what happens in the Internet Hall of Fame.
May I steal your idea?
I could also expand to other stories.
I've been wanting to steal your idea for a while. I've been mentioning a few episodes. I want my own Internet Hall of Fame. You care? Can I steal your idea? I'm not going to do the same way. I'm not going to make a video, but I might do an episode.
Well, I mean, I can't stop you. Don't rip
you
me
want
off.
me to do? You don't want me to do it though, do you? I'm not going to call it the Gamer from Mars. Maybe I'll put you on. Maybe come on. We'll do the Internet Hall of Fame. You can be the historian, and then we'll take calls.
Yes, I mean,
we'll put really awful people in the Hall of Fame that none of my fans will like Jake Paul, and we'll say good things about him to aggravate the fuck out of them. How about that?
I mean, there's more than enough room for growth in this market if you wanted to do something like that.
I don't care. Sometimes I just want to troll my own fans. It's not all about money all the time. All right, who can't you get up enough of content wise?
Who can't? That's a good question. You ever watch Red Letter Media?
No. I think I've heard of them.
They have a show called
I thought it was
Best
going to be
of the
Filthy
Worst.
Frank. I thought you were going to say Filthy Frank. I was so sure you were going to say Filthy Frank. But go ahead. Red Letter Media.
Red Letter Media, they have a show called Best of the Worst where they find these old, random, terrible VHS tapes, and then they watch 3 of them, and like you just watch them watch these terrible old VHS tapes, and then they have to decide which one is the best of the worst. And they're like an hour long a piece, and they're amazing, but they only make like one every other 2 weeks, and I think it's one of the best series on YouTube.
Why did you decide? Listen to me. I'm getting drunk. Why did you decide to leave Mars and move to Earth? That's from @house.
I mean, I always get those troll comments about me being actually from Mars, but
I even
there's
put you
really
in
no reason why I'm named that. I just thought it was a catchy name.
People don't realize you were a little kid when you started this shit.
I was.
You're an adult now.
I was.
You were a little kid.
You know. I don't think people appreciate that.
No, I don't think they do. They do. Are you of Irish descent by chance?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like both on both sides, right?
Yeah, like 100% Irish on my mom's side. And
you look like a fucking leprechaun. That's why. You know that, right?
Yeah, I always get those comments and stuff. I mean, when you have red hair on YouTube, it's like you get comments.
Yeah, but it's not just the red hair.
Insert any other person with red hair.
Germans have it's your fucking face, dude. You have the map of Ireland in your face. You look like I could see you in one of those school uniforms and shit. You know what I mean? I've been to Ireland, and yeah, you look like Henry O'Hanrahan. You know, that's what you look like. All
And
right,
also, I don't think people realize like how big I am. Like, because I'm like 6'3", I weigh
Are
like
you really?
230
You're bigger than me.
pounds. I lift every day.
Really?
So I don't think people quite understand just how massive I am, because there's always people like trying to.
So you're a big fucking tough Irishman. So I would like, yeah, you're really.
Yeah.
It would be great if you went to VidCon and somebody walked up to you and and they said you were boring, and then you just twisted them in a fucking knot.
You know, nobody actually gets stuff called out to their face except for, I think Keemstar got called out in person once.
Oh, I'm
Other
sure
than
he
that,
did.
no one will actually come and talk trash.
Are you going to
person.
VidCon this year? Are you going to VidCon?
I got better ways to spend my money.
Okay, I'm just asking. Why do you stand in the hallway like a fucking weirdo? That's from Deputy Dangles. Why do you stand in the hallway? You used to do a white screen, if I'm not mistaken, right?
What do you mean stand?
Like in your videos, you're like, you seem like you're in the hallway, but actually you look like you're in a room. Come to think of it, I don't know. That's what this girl said.
No, that's my bedroom.
That's your bedroom.
It comes down to I used to do that old setup where I had the white background, but I really had to have like a ton of light blown on me to shoot it that way. And
did that hurt your
I
Irish
don't have
skin?
air conditioning in my house, so it gets really hot in the summertime.
Gotcha. So you just cut it out. Did it hurt
your? It's a lot easier.
Gotcha.
It's so much easier doing it the way I do it, and it doesn't like really affect anything. No one really cares that much.
What's it like being the gamer from Venus? Wait a minute, does this guy mean the gamer from Neptune? You used to have your best buddy was the gamer from Neptune, right? He died in a car accident.
Yeah, well, the gamer from Jupiter. He started out in the early videos.
Yeah.
And for some reason, everybody thinks that that's my brother. I think there's like a wiki page that says the gamer from Jupiter is my brother.
Oh, really?
Even though that's outrageous.
Gamer from
we
Jupiter.
don't look anything alike.
Did he grow on YouTube?
So
did he grow on YouTube? Did he? Are you guys still friends?
No, he went off to college.
Yeah.
Pretty far away. I see him like maybe once a year. Yeah, I don't really talk to him much anymore. Once in a while, I'll DM him on Twitter.
Sure.
But other than that,
yeah. It just happens when you go to college and shit. That shit just breaks off. It's normal. It doesn't make you a bad person. All right, man. That's pretty much all I got for you. I want to get you laid, man. I want to teach you how to. You're going to tell me how to. You're going to give me tips, and I'm going to help get you laid. How about that? What do you think?
Sure.
Hey, lighten up, gamer from Mars. Show some personality. Come on.
Yeah, that's no problem.
I really want to thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it. Everybody goes up to the Gamer from Mars if you want to know about internet history. I mean, his videos are good going 2-3 years back. They're very, very good. It's not just trending topic garbage. Don't let the fucking trolls tell you that. There's a lot more going on than they're well thought out research videos. He's got his style. It is a bit deadpan, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And
I am going to try to improve on that, though. Just let everybody know. I really want to get better. I'm always trying to improve my content. Some people don't believe that, but I really do care.
I do. I know you do. And I don't think you should change a fucking thing with your personality. First of all, you're set in stone. If you come out and change something, it's going to look forced. And everybody's like, I'm going to want the old gamer from Mars back. You know, because I recently started a new project. I do drama news, but in like a real news setting. And I put on a coat and tie. It's called Get to the Point News. And maybe you could take me on that and tell me what I'm doing wrong there. That would be and I actually put a whole news team together. And did news talent teams. We came up with characters, and people were just pissed off at me. Like, why aren't you doing Tommy C? It's like, I want a challenge. I want something new. You know, I want something that's like separate from Baited, you know? And at first they were like really resentful for it. And then I got somebody that pissed them off more than I did. And now I became like the hero again. My character's now the hero of the show, and she's the bad guy. So it actually kind of worked, and now I got a pretty loyal fan base over there. My point, I guess, with all this is, I think if you change, there's a possibility they'll resent what you changed to because they'll think you're forcing it. I say be yourself.
No, I'm not going to make a complete 180 turn on my channel. It's more about I do understand where people are coming from, that I could sound a little bit more interested. It doesn't come naturally to me. I'm dyslexic, so it's even hard for me to read scripts and stuff. So it's always been hard for me to do this, even in the first place.
You don't read scripts. That's funny. I always thought you were definitely reading off a script. Yeah.
I'm always reading off a script.
Oh, okay. But it's
very hard for me to do it, but I do it.
You do make yourself do it. You know, I got to be honest with you.
It's never come easy to me, but I do try.
You do it. You know what? I think you've been very revealing today. I think you showed another side of yourself. All right, you're a little bit deadpan in real life too, but you weren't afraid to talk. You weren't afraid of those crazy questions, and you weren't afraid of telling a little about yourself. I think you're an interesting fucking guy, and I think you got a great YouTube channel. But I think it's time to say goodbye.
Very good.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you. Stick around after this. I'm going to say goodbye to you offline. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being a part of the GamerFromMars interview. Definitely one of my favorites. Make sure... possible get to the point tonight. Breakfast and beer tomorrow on Dave's Twitch channel, and we'll have that up on Saturday as far as on the Breakfast and Beer channel. Thanks for being a part of this. Go sub Gamer from Mars, and yeah, look for Get to the Point tonight. I will see you guys Sunday, like I do every Sunday. And guess what? We have the return of the man that is singing this song. Real Talk, the Metaphors Besides. Back Sunday. I'll see you. Peace.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-Town to King's home, slapping fives, black stones. 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me read the meagers to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headline.